BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So welcome to this other appointment of 50 minutes of experience. Today we have with us Subhashis Halder, a photographer from Calcutta, India. And we had already a few interviews with him. We wrote an interview with him, and we also made a talk with him in video. And today we talk about the experience of him. So welcome to this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So as I said already, in this podcast we talk about the experience touched us as photographer, but not only as a photographer but as human. So what I ask to you is what did you prepare something to share with us today?
Actually I did not. So what do you like, what would you like me to do, like share some of my work or something?
No, so if I have to be free to ask you, I will be really interested to know what is something you got in touch in photography, touched you deep, and if was some meeting with someone and stories you would like to share with us.
Yeah, so actually the first thing comes to my mind is about like everyone goes there in winter. In there is a place called Medan in Kolkata actually. So that is a like very big field, and it is almost always covered with fog and all during the morning session. So that actually was the like catalyst I needed to like really get on with my photography. Like it is always like a mystic land or something like that. So it never fails to amaze me actually. So that is when like you meet people, like all people from around comes there, plays, talks with each other. Like it is like a big gossiping, in local word we call it adda or something, that sort of thing. Like people are talking out everything. Many people come there, like different sellers or something. They sell tea, different snacks or something. So it is the wholesome experience of people gathering in a given space and interacting with each other in a very interesting environment. So that was what got me going in those early years. And now in pandemic, like I'm with my family, picturing stuff, and like these are two very different scenarios, like where you get to interact with other people, and in this scenario or a more recent scenario, I get to interact with my family in a much more deep way. So that are two different experiences that like really kept me going, also kept me going till date actually.
So I have seen recently in your work there is something I think is changed a bit. I mean, the perspective, the cut of the picture is a bit particular than other picture you did in the past, and it's something I see only by myself, or is something really changed in your way to taking picture? Something came to your life?
I don't know actually. Like I did not ponder upon like how I did like last couple of years and how I changed. But I do sense a bit of change in my work now. So it is much more like a abstract, or like keeping geometry in a much more complex way, like not in those uh, what do I say, like different rectangles, very basic geometric shapes, but it is much more along the way, like about lines or something. So also I have shifted to more black and white than colors recently. I still take color photographs and all. So I do prefer black and white mostly. But what I think affected mostly was like reading different books, like different psychology books or different essays like from Susan Sontag, John Berger. These are the classic ones. So I started reading them like since like last 2 years. I've been reading different photo books and different books. Also, I work in animal behavior. That gives me another space for exploring different perspectives as well, like scientifically. But roughly, like all of this together, probably to had to do something with my work as well, I guess.
Yeah, I see something's changed. I don't know. Maybe will be more clear in the future. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, generally, did you met someone at the story really strong that, in a way, stopped you to taking picture of?
So last year when I went somewhere, like it was a very old monastery, probably the oldest monastery in Peling, Sikkim. So Sikkim is a state in like our north part of India, where I live in West Bengal. So there is a place called Peling. It is a really nice place to go actually travel. So I went there in the old monastery, and in the evening, in the very blue hour, I saw the picture of Buddha actually. So the Buddha was like was like illuminated with very strong golden light in those blue hours, and an old monk was like really into his rituals and all. So it all seemed too pure to me. So I could not even capture. I just kept seeing the scene actually. So I dissolved it within myself. And till this date, whenever I think of it, I I can feel I am standing there and looking at the monk worshiping Buddha and going through his daily rituals, and like it was really pure. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do stop taking pictures sometimes if I feel something like that.
I wanted to know if there was something in photography in general, if photography showed to yourself something you didn't know about yourself before.
Yeah, actually, I am much more aware of myself now than I was before, like before 5 years or so. And like any change of emotion, any sort of frustration through my daily work, like it really like there is a peak of those I don't know, instincts or something. So I really do notice something is changing whenever I'm like bored or angry or happy. So those feelings have like quite intensified through these years actually. Yeah. So seeing, like all the time I'm seeing. So that is a exercise I cannot have anywhere else. So seeing, that is what like improve probably. I don't know. Probably I'll know later.
So yeah, I understand. Um, I'm really curious because in this case, you come from a country and from a city is totally away from our background here in Europe. And
Mm-hmm.
in a way, I would love to travel there and to watch with my eyes, to taking picture there. But I think in a way I cannot doing a picture really inside of these places like you do it, because also you come from there. So then it's totally different. The connection you can create in this place. In the same
Yeah.
way, what you can produce here in Europe is totally different from what I can produce here in Europe. And
Yeah.
there are some cases when you go out taking picture that you just hold to stay with someone just because you are so fascinated from this person, and then you continue to get in touch with this person also without doing picture.
Yeah, so basically, what I try to do actually, I try to shoot more with mobile phone these days, and not to carry a bulky device with me all the time. So all the time, I like to shoot actually. So most of the time, it's I go solo. You can say that. So yeah, like we we I am alone. I become much more aware of whatever is happening around me. So that is the way I try to take photographs. Yeah. Also, you should visit sometimes here actually. So whenever you come here in future, you can really contact me. I'll show you around.
So, and another question here on Zoom, you have the picture you are with the camera seems like an analog camera. So I'm curious to know if you work on film photography or just also digital or yeah, both. Just tell me more about that.
So I till like last year or so, I actually only use digital medium actually. So but I always wanted an analog camera, and I really love the tonal rendering in the film. Like I can always create in digital, but getting in hands with like the results I get with analog is like I feel that it's like unlike anything else. So I have tried analog a few times. Also, I'm planning to go sometimes, not in a far future. So I have bought some of the films, and I will try to shoot in black and white, like Kodak Tri-X 400. That is really like one of my favorite films. Yeah. So
It's
I
easy.
have just started in analog.
It's easy to find film there in India, or it's difficult.
There is a very famous place actually. When you visit here, no, so there is a very famous place called Metro Goli. So in Metro Goli, you can find lots of cameras. Like it's a place for cameras, and you can get the latest technology as well as the rarest technology. All of them, both used, refurbished, new. You can get everything there, and in a very cheap price. Let me tell you that. So I bought it from there. So it's a Nikon FM10. So uh, yeah, so
And
you can get it in pretty cheap.
also the film are really cheap.
Films are not really cheap in India actually. So the camera is cheaper, but the films are really quite high priced actually.
Yeah,
What I can get, yeah.
the cameras also here in Europe are really cheap. Yeah, you can pay really nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I actually saw that actually. So also films in Europe, I feel is much more cheaper actually.
Do you think that how much cost the film? I mean, more or less in dollar.
Actually cheaper. Yeah.
Okay.
In dollar it's much more cheaper. Like if I wanted to buy a Portra 400 here, I would have to spend like uh, 12 to $14, maybe more. But in Europe I have seen like in a bulk, if you buy Portra 400, it will cost you around average like $6 to $7. It's almost double, so that's quite high for us actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, also here is really difficult to find film. I mean, in general, it's difficult to find film for a good price because everyone
Yeah,
has different prices. So then it's really particular. You have to find always the person, the shop has a good price, and sometimes it's not forever. Sometimes it's really difficult to find the film in general, and
yeah, yeah.
especially in this last period. I mean, when the COVID started, I don't know why the Kodak Color Plus is really something. It's rare now to find a Kodak Color Plus.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
really
it is.
rare. And yeah, it was. I remember when I was shooting with Kodak Color Plus, they was costing like 10 film rolls for really nothing, 20 euro. So it's more or less we can say something like $20 more or less.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and now, yeah, when you find them, they cost really a lot. Anyway,
Mm.
thank you a lot for your time. I hope we can organize another podcast in the near future. And yeah, talking about
Yeah, sure.
specifically about some stories you get in touch with.
Yeah, sure.
So I want to say, if someone want to see the work of Subhashis, you can search him on Instagram as Subhashis Halder.
Yeah.
Anyway, in any case, we will put the link in description. Thank you a lot,
Mhm.
and I hope you have a nice day, evening. I don't know what time is there.
It's almost midnight.
So have a good night and sleep well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What team is in there? Germany. Yeah, in your
Yeah,
place.
it's 19. It's 7 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, that's a nice time. Yeah, have a good dinner.
Thank you a lot, and see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye then.
Ciao. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/Berlin Explorer or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer Project.